Tonight, Blizzard Games have found a new home for gaming with friends, and I have a reason to go to Facebook. We'll get an update from the WoW beta of Legion, plus Overwatch sales numbers. We've got Heroes of the Storm updates, and a lot more from eSports, as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Battlenet News. The thing we do here at Convert to Raid every week, the new show. And thanks for joining us from all around the Blizzard universe. And my name is Pat Crane. I'm the host of this little shindig, and we have three fine fellers with us tonight. Let's join them right now. First up from Lords of the Storm, the podcast all about HOTS. It's Gizmo. Hey, Giz.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going, Blizzonians?
Blizzonians.
Blizzonians.
I like
Blizzard
it.
Gamers.
I like it.
Excited to be here. It's going to be a good show. Lots to talk about this week.
Absolutely. Tons of stuff, actually. And we'll also bring in from To Hardcore's rating team in WoW and adults with jobs around other Blizzard games. It's Sharku. Hey, man.
I made it. We're a night late. And I wouldn't have made it last night, but I made it tonight. So you guys need to thank Zug's computer for crapping out on him, because otherwise you wouldn't have me here.
That's true. My computer did crap out on me, and I actually blame this guy from the Payload podcast and Well Met. I always say well played, but it's well met. Over at blizzpro.com. It's John Horseman, who says Derry's on the thing. I'll change that. Don't worry about it. We'll change it.
We'll I need a really bad opening joke now, don't I?
You kind of do.
That's my saying.
You kind of
about Peter Pan.
All right. Well,
yeah. So two
I got
guys,
you
a
changed,
gnome,
though. That's good.
and an elf. Oh, there we are. Never mind. Whew.
Yeah. No, you're all good.
I had to make up a joke that would not have been very good.
Right.
It was going to include a gnome.
Oh.
Hi, Pat.
Oh no.
Hey, Pat.
Hello, everybody, and thanks players for joining us as always, and thanks John for coming back again. You know, it seems like every time that you come here, technical difficulties ensue, and
I'm two
then
for three.
Then I have to reschedule stuff, and we're doing it. This is the makeup night for for Battlenet News. So welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Nice to see you. All right, let's go around the room and just check in and see what's going on with everybody. Giz, what's going on with you? What's been happening in your week of Blizz?
Well, it's still a lot of Overwatch. Having some team practices for a nice little tournament that's coming up at the end of this month. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Of course, some Heroes of the Storm over the weekend. We had the second North American Regionals, which we'll talk about a little later, and testing some stuff out on the PTR. Medivh is on the PTR.
Ooh.
And, oh man, super excited to talk about him.
Well, let's chat about him a little bit later on, and
Indeed.
And because I know that there's a bunch of stuff happening, especially on the PTR right now. So good stuff. Shark, what's going on? What's going on? How are To Hardcores doing?
Now, To Hardcores, as you know, we've been having some really slow raids because, you know, there's the summer bosses and the attendance bosses and the outside is so pretty right now bosses, and my kids want to play and I can't be inside boss. All those bosses have really been a challenge for us. And last week we had to just almost call the raid and just sort of farm like really basic bosses for some new guys that were trying to get gear and stuff like that. So this week we went in, we had a goal. We're trying to kill Heroic Archimon. We're trying to get people their Moose Mount. Right. The old-fashioned way, without buying runs from people or anything like that. Not that anybody that did that is wrong, but that was our goal, right? So we go in.
Yeah.
We pull Manaroth, Heroic Manaroth, one-shot him.
Nice.
And then we pull Archimon, wipe at 2%.
Oh!
Full Archimon, wipe at 5%. Full Archimon, wipe at 10%. Full Archimon, wipe in phase 1. Full Archimon, wipe at 0.3%.
Everybody knows this story. Everybody knows this story where you wipe and wipe and wipe, and then you get super, super close, and then you go
Full
back.
Archimon,
Yeah.
kill him. We killed him.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah, we did.
What?
It was good. Yeah, we finally got him down. So after, I think it was 4 or 5 pulls, I think. We had some people in my chat room. It took us about 2 hours, I think, because we went on a break and I started streaming after the break. And I'm like, guys, get in here. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. It's going to be awesome. Right. And we actually had a little audience watching us and cheering us on. So it was a lot of fun. We went and took pictures of all of our mooses and had a good old time. And then...
Yeah.
A suggestion to all you raid teams that might be feeling the slog a little bit going into Legion. We just rolled alts. Everybody rolled a different character at level 90, maybe something they've had leveled up. Or something they boosted, never really did anything with. Somebody's like, well, I want to try tanking. Somebody else is like, well, I want to try healing. And we started normals again and really had a blast playing completely different characters and teaching each other how to play. Okay, well, who's a hunter? I was on my hunter, and I'm like, well, what do I need to do? What's my rotation? What food do I eat? Like, we had just a lot of fun. So that's maybe something even we might talk about a little bit later in questions and stuff like that. But yeah, we had so much fun.
So much fun. Awesome.
So much fun.
That is cool. And yeah, I mean, rolling alts works, but it only works if everybody on the team wants to play something different and can still support their team, right?
Yeah. Well, and some people wanted to play the same thing and are kind of carrying us through content a little bit. And that's been fun too. But yeah, it's you kind of have to have the team.
So are you planning to go back all the way to the beginning of Warlords and do all the raids in order like that? Or
that's something people have talked about. We jumped right into normal HFC and were able to down the first 3 bosses in there. We only had like an hour left of time.
It's fresh. That's the whole thing. So
right, exactly. It's something that we all were familiar with, and and then the other thing is a lot of people have to take a break for the summer. So there are still people that want to stay and want to raid and don't want to farm the same content on the same tunes over and over again. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them like boost something straight up and go back to High Mall or something like that.
Cool.
I think that would be really fun, actually. I wish I could do it.
Right. Hey, John Horseman.
Yeah. Yes. Hey.
How are you? And what have you been doing lately? So was it drinking and swearing where we were going into pitch voices? Is that what we were doing? No, that was just random, wasn't it?
No,
we've
random.
been playing a lot. We've been like playing a lot together this week. A lot of Overwatch and different stuff. So I don't know what's good.
Yeah,
maybe you should explain it for everybody. What was actually? happening.
Basically all it is Pat and I have pitch modulators, so we can sound like awesome chipmunks or really deep, sexy black men. And so we just randomly started turning that on while we were playing some Overwatch this last week. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun. I have not laughed. Yeah, everybody else hated it.
Everybody else hated it.
Pat and I bonded. We had a bonding moment.
We were doing this, and it was just it was all sorts of ridiculousness. I prefer the chipmunk voice myself because it's very happy. It is very happy.
Yeah.
The thing when both of you guys were chipmunks, nobody could understand you. That was the best part. Like nobody could understand you or figure out which one of you was saying something. We'd be like, Pat, shut up. And then that would be
pretty much. And then it was like, hey guys, get the Reinhardt or whatever it is. And so it's just
it's hard to switch during the game.
I know.
So if you started the game on and you're like me and you don't die, you just have to stay on the chipmunk voice the whole time. And that can get kind of exhausting. However, Pat and I did start a Tauren think tank right on the show.
Yeah.
Did the intro.
We did. And it was perfect. It was a perfect reproduction of the intro of Tauren think tank.
Spot on.
As chipmunks.
All you guys were missing was some like blaring dubstep music behind you. And it would have been just like the kids from like CSGO. Everyone would be like,
I think John actually
they
had
came over to this game.
I think
I have a little
That time
sexy
yet?
jazz music that I play over my chipmunk.
I don't know that doesn't sound right.
Is that a sentence?
That doesn't sound
Sounds
right.
code for
I don't think that's a sentence
that
that's
doesn't
ever
sound
been
good.
uttered before.
That doesn't
I
sound
think I said
good.
it first.
All right.
jazz with the chipmunk.
Cool. I know that. So the rest of the guys from the show, those guys had a very interesting week this week because they went out to California, and they were all a part of the Warcraft movie premiere, the LA premiere on, was it Monday night? Monday night, yes. And did you guys watch the red carpet, or actually the black carpet, right? Pre-show where they had all the celebrities and community members and stuff like that rolling down the black carpet? Did you guys watch
I
it?
did not. I was too salty because I wasn't there.
Well,
So I bailed. And I think I actually might have been pre-surgery day. So I was
so you
whatever.
were
But
really-
anyway.
you were in your own
Yeah.
headspace. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all right. Giz, you were saying you did?
Yes, I was able to catch part of it, not all of it. There were some really good interviews, and along with director name
Duncan?
Duncan Jones. There it
Okay.
is. They were talking to him, about how the opening overseas and stuff was doing really well, and the hopes for a second movie. And he dropped a bomb and asked Blizzard, please give us a Warcraft 4. So Duncan Jones wants it.
Wow.
The people want it.
The people
Let's
want
get
it.
Let's get it happening.
The people, aka Duncan Jones, wants Warcraft 4.
You don't want a Warcraft 4? I want a Warcraft 4.
I wouldn't mind a Warcraft 4.
I love a Warcraft 4.
Right. I'm sure that a lot of people would like a Warcraft 4. I would like Legion. That's what I would like.
Yes,
I would
that's also.
I would like
A
raiding.
new video game, I think, is what everybody likes.
That's that's a fair
Whatever
point.
they call it.
Mhm, mhm.
There were also some other interviews.
There were some good
happened.
interviews, and then there were some interviews that were there, and
They were there.
Yes, there were
yeah.
some awkward moments and some. I think it's super tough. Okay, so it was Jesse Cox and Michelle Morrow hosting this whole black carpet thing, and it's tough. You're there. It's two people. You have all these different folks you're trying to talk to, and it's 2.5 hours.
That is correct.
And so not everything can win. Not everything hits.
Mhm. I mean, I'm sure what's really considered winning. I'm sure it probably has the most YouTube views from any other part of the interviews. So maybe it's winning a little bit.
Maybe.
But no, it's not. Let's be honest. It was interesting.
There were some interesting parts that I don't think we necessarily need to get into, but
Nope.
No. But whatever. It was what it was. John, did you catch any of it? Was there anything that stuck out for you?
I caught the VODs.
Yeah.
It was really cool because part of it was like a lot of the people I'm seeing on camera are reasons why I wanted to talk about and play video games and keep playing video games and keep seeking out the community aspect of Blizzard games. And like, that was awesome to me. You'd see like Leroy Jenkins was up there. Towley.
Jenkins. Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wouldn't get through that with at least one of you three
yeah.
saying that.
Somebody has
So
to.
like that part was really cool. I'm like, these guys are the reason why I'm probably here right now, is because of the content that they've created and the inspiration behind it. And at the same time, I look at it and I go, they should maybe stick to that. Because there was some pretty awkward moments,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I went in, I think, expecting that a little bit.
Yeah.
These guys are Blizzard fans and content creators. They are not hosts for a red/black carpet premiere of Hollywood,
Right.
of a Hollywood movie. And
Yeah.
so I give them grace. I think, you know what? Good for you guys for being so passionate about something that you are physically invited to go up to a red carpet premiere, and then on top of that, be invited on camera to talk about the movie. Like that's pretty cool.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
Right. And just so you guys know, there will be a special report later this week. It might actually be even before this show comes out. That there will be a special report from those guys because it's Mick, Darius, Tovo, Tatva, and those 4 guys get together and talk about the movie. I'm not sure how long it is, but I know that Mick just shared the link with me for Dropbox. So we'll see exactly what's going on with it, and it'll give you kind of more insight into what's going on with the movie, how they think it's going to do. And I think the overall feeling was, if you're a Warcraft fan, it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be good. It'll be great. So you'll like it. And I think that they were saying the same thing that we were kind of saying last week after looking at reviews and stuff like that, was that if you're an outsider, might be a little tough. Might get a little, lost in lore or whatever. But I think that it still could be enjoyable and stuff like that. I just don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm seeing it this weekend. All right.
Are you?
Oh
Is
my
there a
God.
meetup?
Oh my
Is there a
God. The
meetup for
meetup.
that?
The Minnesota meetup is happening this weekend, and I'm so excited. It's actually starting tomorrow for me. So,
Are you meeting at a bar with a really weird name?
no, we're not meeting at the Herkimer.
Okay.
We're not meeting at the Herkimer.
You made that up.
We're not meeting at the Herkimer.
That's my
Totally
favorite part of the
legit
Minnesota
bar.
meetups is hearing you say Herkimer.
We are meeting in Shakopee, Minnesota. Or,
Bless you.
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
Exactly. Or as some people have said, Shakopee. And so I always call it Shakopee.
Played them in football. Love it.
Right. And, oh yeah, that's right. Minnesota boy. So we'll do a little bit of amusement parking. We'll do a little bit of casinoing, and we'll do a little bit of, it's going to be a weekend party, really. So looking forward to this. Guys.
There's an amusement park in Minnesota?
Yeah. It's called,
You're going to the
it's called
casino?
Valley Fair. And then there's the casinos right down there. And
Mystic Lake.
Mystic
That's awesome.
Lake. Mistake
Okay.
Lake is as they call it.
People really care about this.
I
This is
know.
really
Nobody
good.
cares. But it's going to be a party. And so we're actually going to do a
I wanna be
podcast.
there.
We're going to do a podcast from after the movie, after everything. We're going to do kind of a final send-off podcast, and we'll put that up probably as a special report on this channel as well. So then you can get overloaded on all these different special reports about movies and movie weekends and stuff like that. Do you guys have anything super special planned for this weekend movie stuff?
Man,
Anybody?
I wish I did.
I'm going to see the sorry.
Not a problem. I was really excited. Like, I heard they were doing, some early screening stuff in some select theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Zords get to go tonight, actually. They're there right now because there was one in Kansas City.
Uh-huh. But you're not there
I did
anymore.
No, I'm not. So I did not know of one in Jacksonville. However, the movie theater I get to watch this at this weekend, all the seats are leather recliners. So I'm super excited about that. I get to be comfy and enjoy some Warcraft in 3D. I think I'm going to see it in 3D.
Ooh. I'm not a big 3D
John,
fan.
Can't do it. I can't do it. I can't
heard-
do it.
Well, I've heard in this movie it's really just the landscaping and stuff. It's not too intense. It's more subtle. Some nice
Right.
effects.
All right.
If it's like
if it's like
glasses,
what
I have big ears.
okay.
I have to wear glasses
Sorry.
over my glasses.
All
That's
right.
the thing. That's what I don't like to do because I feel like I have to wear contacts when I go to see
Right.
these 3D movies.
Right.
I don't
It
like
wasn't. It wasn't bad for Star Wars. So who knows? Could be. It could be good. It could be good. And what else is going on? Oh, after the movie that our guys went to, they also went to a special Blizzard thing back at Blizzard HQ, and they got a little tour of the facilities, and they got it was like a media day, and there were some interviews to be had. We'll see what we can throw up on the channel there as well. See what we get and from the guys. I'm not even sure what they got. So we'll see. But there should be a bunch of interviews coming out this week for sure with like Corey Stockton and Ian Hasekostas. I know that those two guys were around talking to a bunch of people. So that should be cool. Should be good.
Nice.
So that's all the movie stuff this week, and now we'll move into the actual news. All right, first up, we had a little thing from Jay Wilson, kind of a controversial employee of Blizzard from time to time. He is leaving Blizzard, and he is leaving gaming after 10 years of being with Blizzard. And he was into all sorts of stuff before that. But after 10 years of Blizzard, he's done with gaming. He's like, I have won. I will see you guys later. I'm going to go write a book.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, see ya.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I mean, 10 years, that's a long time. So he had a lot to do with the Diablo series, at least Diablo 3. So it's he did some good work there, and he's moving on. We'll see what he comes out with.
Yeah, and he was so Jay Wilson was in charge of Diablo 3, right? He was the main
lead
the lead
game design.
Yeah,
He was the director. Was
Right.
his official title.
And so he was behind the controversial things such as the real money auction house, and then he went to WoW to do.
Yeah, he voluntarily left.
to work on Warlords of Draenor. So
Right.
and he was
Which had the best launch ever.
but he was in all sorts of different games and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. So he did Warhammer 40K and Company of Heroes before he came to Blizzard. So pretty renowned games. Did some great work there. So obviously he's a talented guy. Went to Diablo 3, had some controversial things, especially I believe the game designer of Diablo 2 had some comments about Diablo 3 that didn't really gel.
Right. Yeah.
There was a bit of an online feud.
There was an
between the two of
F-bomb
them.
dropped on
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah.
in a public forum. So that wasn't the best of choices. I think he then, I believe, if my research was correct, he went on to work on, at the time, what was just known as Titan. And
Right.
then when that fell apart, went back over to Warlords and gave us Garrisons. Just kidding. He didn't do that. No. But he definitely, it was kind of sad because in one of his messages, he said he fell into this job and then he wants to pursue his real passion, which is a little disheartening from somebody like, you are the lead, you are the face of Diablo 3, you are one of the biggest names and developers at one of the biggest properties of Blizzard, and it's a job you fell into. It didn't really sit super well with me. I was a little disappointed with his word choice. As someone who's looking to be a writer, don't fall into something and try to make it sound good because it didn't. But ultimately, like, he's a talented dude. People obviously respect him because you don't just like fall into, regardless if he feels that way or not, you don't fall into be a lead on a Blizzard title without being pretty dang talented.
Right.
But he definitely had his conflicts and his quirks, which I like quirks. I like quirks. I like a little edge. I like a little razor edge there, a little sharp zip, a little cobra coming in at you. But, it's just kind of like, well, I just didn't understand why after all that 10 years at Blizzard and all that stuff, and like, I just kind of fell into, being the face of Diablo 3. Whatever.
I mean, lucky guy. Yep. To be able to be a part of all those different games, as far as from my perspective, it's awesome. So, good luck to him as he goes and does creative stuff. That's cool too. So good luck on that. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook. I don't use it. But I might have to soon. Gizmo, what's going on with Facebooks?
So apparently Blizzard has a new partnership with Facebook, and they are going to integrate the two so that you can stream all Blizzard games directly to Facebook, as well as I think there's going to be some in-game integration and whatnot. So this, people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. I feel like I think the big streamers right now are not going to like it because it's going to be that much easier for everyone to stream. I enjoy streaming. I love doing it. It can be a hassle having to mess with OBS and everything. So, if this is an easy avenue, plus I'll be able to reach a lot more people, my friends and stuff that don't know what Twitch is or anything.
Right.
So it'll be cool for that. As far as features and functionality and stuff, we don't have a whole lot of details nor a date. So we don't know if there'll be a webcam integration or anything like that. But I'm excited for it personally. I don't know about you guys.
Now, is this going to be an optional thing? I mean, for those guys that want to participate on Facebook, or is it going to be something like where you have to be on Facebook in order to... I would think it would be optional, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we have any details, but I think it's probably going to be a lot like the connecting Twitter to your WoW account.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how you have to actually manually go in and connect your Twitter account and sign permissions and check accept, yes, I've read this, in order to get it to work. But yeah, I agree with Gizmo for the most part. I think it's going to be... My prediction is it's not going to affect the professional streamers at all. The big name streamers are going to be still streaming on Twitch. People are going to be still going to Twitch for the most part to get that type of content.
Sure.
However, what it will do is it will connect people to Blizzard games that normally would not see Blizzard games. Everyone except for Pat Crane has a Facebook page.
I have a Facebook page. It's just that I so rarely actually log into
birthday
it.
calendar.
I'm the same way
calendar.
I'm the same way with Instagram. I never use Instagram, but many people have a Facebook page. My Mamaw has a Facebook page.
Oh,
right?
Mamaw.
So Mamaw is going to be able to see me streaming Overwatch if I choose to use Facebook as my outlet. Or anybody that might like video games or not like video games. But I post me and my friends playing Overwatch, having a great time. People are like, what is going on? And they get interested in a similar way that people got interested about esports when they were showing them on ESPN. What is this that's happening? Many people were outraged about it, but many people were like, this is incredible. I want to know what this is. So I think it's a really great PR move for Blizzard to be able to have a connection with a social media outlet like Facebook that reaches so many people and say, hey, we're just going to give you, can we work something out to where we give you access to our games and our platform? Let's share this success we're having.
Well, it's not just that, though. I mean, think about it this way. So Facebook is trying to come up with new ways to compete with Twitch and with YouTube.
Media, yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, I mean, you've got, those are the two bigs, YouTube and Twitch, and they probably want to get into that. And then Blizzard is like going, yeah, okay, we can get our games out to the millions, the hundreds of millions of folks on Facebook, which is awesome. And what do you think about this, John? Do you think that this does anything for player toxicity or anything like that? Because I mean, if you have a Facebook account linked to your Blizzard account, doesn't that kind of, I don't know. It seems like a way to kind of make sure that we play fair and have fun with each other.
Well, Pat, you may not know because you don't use Facebook, but not just anybody can create a Facebook account, okay? Like, there's social security numbers, there's all these different things that it takes. So, though, honestly, that actually is a good point. Drawing it back, and it's something people have been asking for Twitch, especially in the Hearthstone community as of late. It's been something that people have been asking for, is some more accountability when making accounts, so that you can kind of lower that toxicity a bit and be more civil. And so I definitely do think that could be something that they're going for. Ultimately, though, I think that they're probably going for reach, and I think it's an experiment. Facebook Live went live in August of 2015, and we don't have a whole lot of information about how successful it's been, except that BuzzFeed did some stuff and they've doubled the amount of impressions that they get on videos almost overnight, up to like 2 billion impressions on one of their videos.
Really?
Yeah. Insane, right?
That is crazy.
And then Tom's Guide as well saw like huge engagement numbers, and now they're exclusively doing Facebook video and Facebook Live for those things. And then Overwatch, actually on launch day, Jeff Kaplan did the launch day Q&A on Facebook Live. I don't know if we got any numbers from that, but I do know that it's something that they're trying out. Facebook has over 1 billion users. Twitch has 100 million users. If it's a gamble, and I think it is a gamble, but if they find a way to make it stick, that's huge for the Blizzard community. If there's a way to make it work. If it doesn't, everyone's still going to go to Twitch. You're still going to find your favorite Blizzard gamers on Twitch. But if they do win, number one, they've got probably great exclusivity rights and things like that, and ways to tie and make that easy to share with other people. I think the real question is will the success that Facebook Live has seen for like businesses and marketing translate to gaming? And I honestly I'm skeptical. I'm definitely on the fence about how great that is.
Well, we've already kind of, I mean, as far as gamers go, we've already kind of traveled to these different places. We went to Twitch first, and just in TV before that, right? And and then Twitch, and now YouTube, and I think going to Facebook is pretty safe. And especially for Blizzard games, because I mean, think about just kind of the accessibility of Blizzard games in general. They don't go for the hardcore player necessarily. They go for a fairly easy game to pick up with a lot of depth to it, right? So, it seems like Facebook would be a good match for that anyway. So, yeah. So cool. Anything else on the Facebook thing? As long as it's optional, I don't think that anybody's going to really care about it one way or the other.
I don't think for people that might not like it, I don't think it's going to matter at all. Because it's not. Yeah, it'll be optional. And as far as Blizzard's concerned, it's a no risk. We were just talking about it a second ago. Right. It's a little risk. There's little risk involved. There's a great upside and really no downside. So
it's kind of like when I linked my Twitter account to WoW. And then I took my one selfie and I was like, yep, all right, I did it.
But I see people use that every day too. So.
There's no monetization for it. You don't have all the emotes. There's some community stuff. Like there's no subscriptions. There's no way for you to directly kind of work. Now they do have some cool stuff like actual press or people. You can get like a Facebook Live certified Q&A badge before a live event, so you can actually put questions in. I almost think of like a quarterly call for like a business or something like that. So there are some cool things like that make it kind of intriguing, but it definitely, if people think that this is going head to head with Twitch, at least to start, it's really not.
No,
it's really not. It's probably something totally different. Could it morph into that way, way, way down the road, like 2-3 years? Maybe, just because the ease of access you have with Facebook. And obviously Facebook has an incredible infrastructure. But for those thinking that Blizzard is trying to take down Twitch by partnering with Facebook, no.
Right.
Not happening.
Right. No, and I don't think Blizzard's ever going to turn any business away from Twitch either. Like, I don't think that was part of the deal.
No.
This is something I feel like this was mostly out of an advertising sense. How many people can we get to see our characters? Let's link it to Facebook because that will be more eyeballs seeing our characters, I think is probably the math that goes into it. And I think if they thought it was going to really upset Twitch, they wouldn't have done it. And I think Twitch is going, okay.
Right.
But anyway, that's, of course, completely inside baseball, and I am outside. So,
well, in that case, let's talk some WoW. What do you say, fellas? We have some updates from the beta, and we wanted to share them with you. Legion is still a couple of months away, 2.5 months away, right? Is my math right? Oh, yeah. And so we have some things. And one of the things that happened in the beta, Celestalon actually took to the forums and he was talking about talents. And essentially, Gizmo, he kind of said that they were not really working, right?
Yeah, so they were saying, he said one of the main goals of Talents and Legions was they wanted more meaningful choice for each tier on the tree, because as we know, especially for raiders and stuff, there were pretty much specific talent builds for single target fights and AoE fights. They said it wasn't working quite how they wanted it to. And they're not wanting to go back on their word. They're still wanting there to be diversity and really nice choice on each of those tiers. However, along with the changes they're going to make, they said it's going to affect other things, such as some tuning, some numbers and stuff. So a little bit of a setback there, but overall, and I didn't play every spec in the alpha yet, but I thought they felt pretty nice. I think there's definitely more options than there have been. But yeah, more choice is good. To feel like you can go into a fight with a couple options. In regards to
well, and you definitely don't want to feel like you only have like one real choice either. And so it's like if you're in a certain situation and you go, oh, I need my AOE buttons to all work better. Okay, well, here are my AOE talents. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, okay, well, that wasn't really fun or interesting or whatever. And so now they're just like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go back to square one and kind of rework this stuff. And I think, I know the way Blizz works, and they work well under pressure. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they are perfectionists. So I'm excited for what they come up with. So we'll see.
Yeah. John, have you been playing beta much at all?
I'm not in the beta.
You're not in the beta. Okay.
Thanks for the beta code.
I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Right.
I know you've got like 10 of them. I know you literally prop up your computer on beta codes, and you've refused to give one to me. So thanks a lot.
That's actually what was wrong with the sound last night. He found a beta card just stuck in his mixer. Just stuck in there.
Just tossed it away. He goes, well, that one's fried.
Yeah,
I've got a few keeping my chair level right now as we're speaking.
I hate you guys so much.
Propping the kitchen table up. One of my legs is a little uneven.
Oh man, it's cool though.
I'm not in it.
Right. Well, one of the things that you could check out online if you want to, you don't have to be in the game to really check it out, is that they also have the new launcher music on the beta launch screen. So they have the new 12-minute piece or whatever that they do every time, and it sounds kind of the same, but then they throw in little pieces to mix it up and to make it sound fresh and new. And this one has a little glitchy thing going on with it. It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it other than to say it's kind of like what you would expect from the launch screen, and then it goes a little insane. Just a little bit for like 5-10 seconds, then it goes back to like being regular Warcraft type of music. I don't know. Have you guys heard this? Are you on board with me on this? I don't know.
I have not heard it yet.
No,
so,
me neither. Sorry.
I'm tempted to open
it's
it now.
It's cool. It's really cool. So you can go check it out. If you are on the beta, you can definitely check it out. And my guess is that it's on YouTube and stuff like that. So make sure to check it out. What else? Oh, there is, just real briefly, there was an engineer's workshop on the World of Warcraft website. And the engineer's workshop was about extended draw distance. Basically what they said is, you want to see further? All right, how about twice as far? And so it's about twice as far. So
I know.
Can I go ahead? You
I know they mentioned at BlizzCon last year that they kind of brought this up, and they were saying that in Dalaran, if you were up on Dalaran, you could pretty much see all of the new island.
Yeah, it's pretty
if
cool.
that holds up, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. And we don't know if that's actually going to be on the live game at all, but at least for the alpha, I saw that. And I haven't checked out the beta recently as far as draw distance goes, but you can see a long way, man. Mm-hmm. And it looks pretty crystal clear. It's kind of freaky.
No more smog. All those
No
goblins and their machines smogging up the air.
That's right.
Well, and so I guess how they're doing it too is it's on a scale of like 1 to 10 now for your graphics instead of low, medium, high, ultra type stuff. And like 3 is like low and 7 is like high. So obviously people with more budget PCs have some more settings to turn off so that they can continue to play the game, which is great. And people like me who have SLI 980 Ti's, you can go ahead.
Humble brag. Yeah.
No
Humble brag.
That's
Just
cool.
saying.
I'll trade you a beta code for some SLI.
Oh yeah, totally.
980
That sounds
Ti's.
great.
That
I can't
sounds
wait
like
to
a
hear
great
that
trade.
login music. It sounds awesome.
It is awesome. It's good.
So being able to turn it up to 10, like I am a person who loves seeing all the clarity in the game. And I don't like Pat's gaming rig wearing down on the quality of what I can see on my gaming rig. So that's what I wanted to see. And so I think it's really cool, though. Those high end, like imagine a 4K display with these new draw distance has to look absolutely beautiful. So I'm all about it. I love it.
John, I hate to burst your bubble, but there's actually one person who can has a better computer and can view this game in its entirety even more than you. And that is ETC, because he can turn it up to 11.
Turn it up to 11.
Why you gotta be that way? Do you want to do this on the podcast right now? Ding, ding, ding.
Bad jokes.
I'm just saying.
It's true. ETC.
It was
You can have it.
Turn it up to 11.
It was I was like, cool, I'm gonna meet somebody new, and he's like, oh,
such a long setup for such a great joke.
We planned it from the beginning.
Could you imagine WoW on a 4K screen and just having to be like golden?
A curved 4K Ultra, yeah,
just right in front of your face and just like living in it. It's almost
30-something inch.
It's as close to VR as you can get. Oh, that'd be awesome.
No, it's not, Pat. No, it's not.
No, it is. It is.
Okay.
I don't
close
know.
to VR
I don't know that for sure.
All right.
Okay, so that's from the beta. If you guys want to go check it out, I mean, obviously there's lots of different sites to go to for that stuff. Wowhead is one of them that I normally peruse, and all that stuff is on there. Another bit of news for WoW, and this is kind of more of a follow-up. So if you remember all that talk back, what was it, like a month or two ago, about pristine servers, legacy servers, all this kind of stuff. Nostalrius, that was the server that was a legacy server for, I think they had, was it Vanilla and BC, and did they have Wrath? I'm not sure. But they had a few different servers anyway.
They were WoW subscriptions.
Yeah, they were fan-run servers.
Right. Those guys got shut down, and then they met with Blizzard. They not only met with Blizzard, they met with Blizzard a couple of times, including the last time with Mike Morhaime himself, and the big cheese of WoW. So it's and I guess the meetings are going well. So that's good, right?
What does that mean?
What?
I think this is good for several reasons. First of all, Blizzard is not shoving it off. Like, they're saying a large amount of our fans, including former Blizzard employees, are upset by a choice that we made. Let's hear them out. And let's not just send, any community member or any dev. Let's send Morhaime. Let's send the guy to talk to these guys about it. They're showing Nostalrius respect. Nostalrius, in return, I think, is showing respect back. And like the article that we linked in the show notes talks about, where does it say? Basically, it says it's a lot better than throwing lawsuits at each other, which is kind of how this thing started to look like it was going to go down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that it's really, really good. And honestly, based on what has been said, at least from Nostalrius's point of view, they've said there's no official news yet, but it seems that respect is coming through. You know what I mean? They're getting met by Blizzard, being told this is why we can or can't do this. Help us find the best solution, rather than just slapping them down and saying, no, it's not going to happen, so deal with it.
Did you see what Alessandra says in chat?
I missed that.
She says that they're just looking to hire coders. That's it. That's it. No, I'm just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's all they're trying to do is just hire coders. They don't want a solution to the problem. No.
I am not that I mean, there's a possibility of that, I guess, but I really don't think that Morheim hires coders. That's probably not what he does. Someone else will do that.
Right.
They wouldn't send him to do that. But anyway, but yeah, maybe, who knows?
So something that I think is really cool though too, number one, who does this? Like, what type of company goes, hey, you not legally using our stuff? Let's talk about it, man. Let's just sit back and talk about it. But more than anything, recognizing how important community is to Blizzard and going, hey, you know what? Maybe, technically this is our intellectual property that you're using and doing something different, but going, hey, we really value community at Blizzard and we think it's really important. And if that's the way that people feel involved in our community, that's something we want to talk about and explore more. And even if it doesn't end with vanilla servers for all and stuff like that, like the fact that hopefully, I always say it wrong, Nostalrius, right? Probably. Leaves going, okay, well, that wasn't like we weren't heard and that wasn't like we weren't respected and valued, but we came to a mutual understanding about what this is and how this is run, and we got to plead our case. And I think that's really important, and I think that's a great way for Blizzard to stay involved and stay invested into the bigger picture beyond vanilla servers and is it right to have, and going, what does this do for our community of Warcraft? As we have a movie coming out and we have all these things and this huge giant world, how do we best facilitate that as the company who created that world in the first place?
And based on the wording of these quotes, it's ongoing. This isn't something that's over. It's a discussion that's continuing. So that's good news for both sides as well. I don't think it was just a, hey, let's make peace here. It was more of a, let's work together to find a solution we can both be happy with. So that's I think it's great.
And Rob Bull 75 in chat just posted up all everybody that they met with, and they met with everybody. I mean, they met with everybody that works on WoW. That's a big part of what they do, and from Mike Morheim to community managers and PR and all that kind of stuff. And so I mean, it was a widespread of developers, PR, Mike Morheim himself, and kind of everybody in between. And so I mean, this is something that they're taking seriously, and that's good to see, because I think that there wasn't necessarily an outcry from the majority of players, right? But it still could be something cool for a lot of people to jump into, especially when you during times like this where we're kind of in the lull period of WoW, where you can go back and you can experience the game all over again in a different way.
I would say, based on the fun that we had just rolling alts and going into the same content we've been doing again, if I was able to do that actually, like truly at level, not like what iTunes tries to do and just goes in with the current game model at level gear, but to do it truly what it was like back in the day, I think that would be an immense amount of fun. And I think a lot of people would enjoy that. However, all of those different things that we've talked about on the show before and that these guys are talking about now, there's many complications with that. But man, if they got it to work, I really think it would be worth effort. I don't know how much effort. I think that's what they're trying to decide.
Right. Okay, well, we'll see exactly where this goes, and we'll keep you in the loop on this stuff. We'll keep you up to date. But for now, I think we got to move on to Overwatch. And reported this week, John. What were the numbers of Overwatch? What do we have?
Oh man! So when you queue into a map and you're playing against, you're on the attack, and there's the defense, and you see 7 bastions. Well, 6.
For sure.
Well, 7 million bastions. 7 million bastions in 9 days of Overwatch.
Hey,
basically.
by the way,
so 7 million.
That gets big applause. 7 million folks in 9 days of the game. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely insane.
Lots of salt, lots of bastion salt being tossed around.
Right. So I believe they came out with this 9 days after the game launched. And so they announced 7 million players. Now, normally companies release their numbers based on millions of dollars sold. But Overwatch has a little bit different payment models in the Asia Pacific region where you actually like pay per play kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So all we know is 7 million players. And Pat, I did the math on this. Are you ready for this? I did this just for the show.
All right.
If the gross sales of Overwatch averages $47.15, that will be the greatest new IP launch of all time. So the division is $330 million in its first week.
Okay.
Destiny barely behind that, 325 million in the first week. And so if Overwatch averaged that and they got close to 7 million in 7 days, they would be the most successful first IP sold of all time, which is kind of huge. That's a big deal. That's and even if they didn't, they're going to be close, right? And for something that's a non-story mode, all multiplayer, $60 a game. That's kind of huge. I think that's really big.
But of course, we know that everybody bought a bunch of loot crates and stuff like that too. So
I have spent $280 on Overwatch so far.
Jeez.
I actually sold my other microphone, my couch,
$60
next is my bed,
and then $20 for I spent $80. That's way too much for me.
Katie, my girlfriend, went out and bought an Xbox and a $300 pair of Astro A50 wireless headphones to play Overwatch when she's never played a shooter in her entire life.
Wow. And she's kicking your butt. She's
really good. She's actually a higher level. I started playing an Xbox with her, so I stopped at about 27. Yeah. And so she just hit level 30 last night. So she's a higher level than my highest level. Wow. She's going to be the new host of the payload. And she'll be guesting for me here next week. Mm-hmm. And all the things.
I actually want to talk to her after the show.
It's more interesting to talk to you. Let me tell you that.
Oh man.
I do want to mention, because you were talking about Bastion. Yeah. There's a nice little tidbit at the end of this article. It says Blizzard reached out to Polygon with this specific information. They said, "We can confirm that players have selected Bastion while there is already at least one other Bastion on the team, but no tank or support heroes in more than 93,000 matches so far." Pretty sure all of us have experienced at least one of those matches.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been 189,945,309 Bastion eliminations so far. That's a lot of Bastion. It's a lot of Bastion play of the games.
I think I was in most of those 93,000 matches.
Yeah, those are, probably 189 million of them were deaths from me. I need to check my stats on that to, confirm.
Right.
But possibly.
Well, now you can check your stats and stuff. There's all sorts of sites cropping up as far as, being able to check your stats. I'm trying to remember what some of those are, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those.
Oh man!
Now I can't remember it all.
Watch.gg.
What's that?
Watch.gg.
Yeah.
Watcher.gg and masteroverwatch.com. Those are the two.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And so if you want to check yourself out and see how you rank in the world of Overwatch, you can do that, and that's kind of neat. That's fun stuff.
I'm in the top 1,000 for Reinhardt.
You play a mean Reinhardt. You play a mean Reinhardt. And you play him a lot, so it's good.
Well, it's all I play because Pat just insists on playing Junkrat every week, every game. And
not every game. Sometimes
Pat, we need a tank, okay?
Well, it's when Jules is there, she prefers I know she likes playing either Roadhog or Mercy. I mean, those are kind of her faves, right? And if you're playing Reinhardt, then she goes Mercy, and then I'm like going, well, you don't need Lucio on top of that, so why don't I just go either Junkrat or Pharah?
John, we need to play together. I'll play some Reinhardt with you.
Yeah.
No,
oh, yeah,
Shark,
you're
had
good.
better than you
something
at it,
else.
Shark. That's the point. I'm top 1,000. Okay?
John and I,
Do you know what top 1,000 means? Means that I'm a better
Out
Reinhardt.
of 7 million people, he is in the top 1,000. Right?
That's exactly it.
we had some excellent Reinhardt battles on Drinking and Swearing a few weeks ago.
Man.
And I didn't even get to play Reinhardt against you guys, so
Which,
you don't even know.
By
about
the way,
me.
no drinking and swearing this week because we got the Minnesota meetup stuff going on. But
They'll be drinking and swearing off camera, though.
oh yeah, there will be lots.
Maybe
of
I'll do it.
There will be lots of it. Yeah, go.
I'll
for
be
it.
drinking and swearing that I'm not in Minnesota seeing Warcraft with my friends.
Yeah.
That's
it's
what I'm going
tough.
to be doing.
And Pat.
It's
Pat will be
tough,
there,
especially when you're from Minnesota and you can't make it back for it.
Yeah,
That's
got to
tough.
make it back to Shakopee,
Yep, exactly. All right, let's talk about the next thing because we're still on Overwatch, but they actually did a series of bans, right, Giz?
Yes. So there have already been some third-party cheating systems for auto aiming. I know there was one that would constantly show players' whereabouts on the screen.
Right.
I think kind of like Widowmaker's ult.
Yeah, we were talking.
But,
I think we were talking about this. Was it last show? I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it
Yes.
was. Yeah.
So they did those bans. The great thing they're doing is they are actually banning by ISP. So there have been people that have gotten banned, gone out, bought another copy of the game, booted up, and what happens? Bam!
Still
they can't
banned.
play.
Oh
Still
man.
banned.
I've had to move 3 times in the last week.
Yeah.
3 times, Pat. You know how hard it is to unpack and repack my apartment?
Right.
It's unbearable.
Maybe you should set up like an office somewhere.
Thought about it.
Just
Thought about it. Didn't work.
Right.
Rent was too high. The
Right.
rent was too dang high.
I hear you.
But,
Well, that's
this is
another way.
excellent.
That's so. So there was. What was the number behind it? Wasn't it something like it was only like
1572.
1,500? Yeah. So, which is good that it was a low number, or maybe it was bad that it was a low number. Was it enough? We'll see, I guess.
I think the news coming out that, hey, if you get banned and you more than welcome to spend, at least 40 to $60 on another copy, you're more than welcome to do so, but you're still not going to be able to play the game. I think that sends a pretty strong message.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much just saying, suck it, cheaters.
Suck
guys
it, cheaters.
suck.
That's
And
it.
those were all cheating bans. Those weren't like report bans or anything like that.
Correct. That was
Right.
that was
Yeah.
where they found that they were actually cheating on the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been reported a few times for my Widowmaker skills. Guys, get over it. I'm really good at the game. I'm not going to get banned for that.
are you
So
are you top
relax.
1,000? Are you top 1,000 on that as well? I just had
I am, top 1,000, actually.
all the
Like,
cameras cracked out.
precisely.
That's fun.
Yeah,
All the cameras are gone.
Skype is wonderful. That's all.
I
I'm
need,
saying.
I need Skype Premium.
that's what it's
Right.
telling me too.
Awesome. Great. That's gonna be
3
great
for
the
4.
VOD.
3 for
Great
4.
for the VOD. Yeah.
Amazing picture of me from BlizzCon 2 years ago up there. That's
Well, until-
awesome. I love it.
That's when I met you. That's
I'll do
like
that
that
until
guy
it comes back.
with the hair.
Ugh.
Yep.
All right. We'll do that until it comes back. Sorry, everybody watching the video right now. Let's talk a little bit about HOTS. Okay. And I can think of nobody else better than to kind of lead me through this than Gizmo, because Giz, you have the Lords of the Storm podcast, so I'm sure that you've probably already talked about this stuff a lot.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a thing. A lot of it, actually, I'm super excited to talk about tomorrow, so we'll be going over some of it there as well. But again, there's a lot that has been happening. Medivh right now is currently out in the PTR. I've tried getting on the past few nights, and the game modes have all been disabled, except I believe custom matches. But you can still try them out in the store. You can do the try mode. And gotta say, I think I might be falling for Medivh. He is.
I think I'm falling for Medivh.
He is a very strange specialist. Really only has one damaging ability. And I know we've talked about all of his abilities before, but I think he is going to be a game changer in the competitive scene. not so much for the super casual player. It's going to be a lot of team coordination, but expect some exciting things from him whenever he comes out this coming week. And then we also have some MMR changes. They're kind of not doing a reset, which a lot of people were wanting, but for the new ranked mode that's coming out this next week as well, they are going to be making a few changes for the placement games to where your MMR is actually going to be impacted greater than normal for those placement games. So for those people that if you felt like you were stuck in an MMR hell or anything, this could be a very good thing or a very bad thing, because that puts a lot of pressure on those 10 games.
Right.
But, you know, people, there's been people that feel like they're stuck, and so, you know, this is the answer for it. Get your carries together, practice them, be ready for those games. But yeah.
Gotcha. And so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that as far as from the PTR standpoint, this is pretty important. This is going to be kind of a hopefully a shift as far as how the MMR goes, and hopefully a positive shift for those players that are kind of looking for something different when it comes to matchmaking in Heroes, because it hasn't been too great recently.
Yeah, the matchmaking has just been weird, and you know, quick match for a long time now has been in a pretty bad spot. Not that the games are super uneven, because you know they've actually been pretty good, I think, as far as skill level. But the comps, you will be lucky if you get a warrior, a support, and a support in your games. So that's kind of been a mess. But they are also releasing unranked draft mode, which a lot of people have been asking for. So that's exciting.
Yes.
And that's going to have its complete separate MMR as well. Could possibly, you know, it's going to split the queues up a little bit more, so there might be a little bit longer queue times. But that's a great answer for those people who are wanting to play with their friends. They're not limited to either two people or a full team like you are in ranked mode. You can play with 3, 4, or a full team of 5 and get in there and play some draft mode with no hesitation for losing some ranks.
Cool. Shark, are you excited about all these changes coming up for
absolutely
for HOTS?
I think it's going to, the two of them that, see, it's almost, I don't want to be the negative Nancy, the guy that's going to sit here and be like, HOTS needs to be fixed, everything's the worst, because there's so much of that going around with a lot of people. But this is their biggest step, I think, that they've made so far in fixing a lot of the problems that people have been complaining about the game so far. For example, the ladder. The ladder changes, the MMR changes, having season 1 come out for Hero League, a lot of really big changes that are happening that are going to be helping people out. Making your MMR flex a little bit more at the beginning of season 1, so you can, if you feel like you're placed inappropriately and you're playing well during the beginning of the season, you'll move up very quickly and maybe get placed at a higher place where you'll top out somewhere where you feel a little bit more comfortable, where you're not playing against people that are with people on your team that are so far underneath your what you believe your skill cap is, right? So all of these things that they're trying to do, they're trying to make the world of Heroes of the Storm a better place. I think unranked draft is probably my favorite thing, though, because that's something, at least casual teams that want to practice together, all 5 people can't be online at the same time all the time. I don't know how many 4-man or 3-man practices we've had as adults with jobs because somebody's at work, because we're adults with jobs.
It's
right?
tough.
So yeah, so just the fact that we're able to now, as a team, we don't have to choose either team league if we have all 5, or the only other thing we can do is quick match, because sometimes we just really want to practice drafting. Practice what characters we can do well against, practice what characters counter other characters, rather, know what's on the other team and choose likewise. It's just something that will really help us out. And I think there will be, Blizzard was afraid that there wasn't going to be a area for it, but I think that's going to, I believe that will change. I think that people are going to find where that fits in. So,
All right, cool.
but yeah, those are the two things that I am most excited about.
And it looks like, oh my gosh, we have the video back up. Awesome.
Okay, we're back.
Awesome,
Sorry,
we're back.
I was
Sorry about
trailing
that,
a little bit
everybody.
because we kept getting
Skype did a little
messages.
freak out. We had to rigmarole all the cameras back and chat in Twitch. People weren't using the chat in Skype for some reason. But
I'm the one who noticed it, and apparently mine was the one that was broke the longest.
Yeah.
So
way to go!
Yeah,
three for 4.
that's right. So did we talk about Chromie? No, we didn't talk about Chromie.
No, yeah.
Chromie's getting buffed,
So Chromie's
Yes.
getting buffed.
but up bumps.
Giz, is it going to be enough? Because I know that she's been hurting a little bit.
Yeah, it's she got some buffs, but it's really, her problem is survivability. She doesn't really have any escapes, and so people were kind of thinking to see something towards that. She did get an overall health buff, which is very nice. But what people did not really expect is she got damage increases and cooldown reductions.
What?
So
I heard
what?
I heard that she wasn't really great at clearing lanes.
No,
either,
she's
so-
not. But that's not, not every hero has to be great at that. That is okay. She's kind of like more of a Nova character, a roaming nuke.
All right.
And
I
she
was
has
gonna
some
say, yeah.
crazy one-shot potential. And with these increases to her damage and cooldown reductions, it's going to be pretty cool. I love playing her. She's super fun. The animations are great. The spell effects are great. The voice lines are amazing. But yeah, and they did do some minor talent tweaks to kind of offset some of that damage increases. But she's a blast to play. But
Right.
again, if you're queuing solo, it can be pretty rough. I know
It can be a challenge.
it can definitely be a challenge. Play with 2 people, 1 person on Chromie, 1 person on Nazebo, and it will be the best time you've ever had, because Nazebo gets somebody in that
Those
zombie
walls.
wall and
Oh
They're
wow,
dead.
yeah.
bye.
Right.
It's super fun.
See you
Yeah.
later.
I've seen good Chromies play, and they do play a lot like Nova without stealth. Because they'll just go around and delete you. Because their damage is stupid if they pull their combo off correctly. So, yeah, exactly.
Very, very cool.
Exactly.
Anything else as far as HOTS updates goes there, fellas? For folks out there? Okay. Well, then let's get into esports. I'm going to try this and see if it works. So I did that for the esports special report that Jules and I did last week, and hopefully you guys like this type of stuff where we're trying to add in all these different special reports, and we'll keep on doing esports. I think we have another esports special report this week as well. So I mean, we're actually creating a lot more content on this channel than we've ever created before, and doing it in a lot different way, so that you guys can pick, so that you guys, hopefully we can cover everything well, and then also have more content for you to pick from as far as what you want to listen to that week. And this week is kind of a boon for us because we have all that movie stuff. Plus we're going to have esports. Plus we're going to have the Minnesota meetup weekend. Plus we're going to have, I don't know. Next week I hope to corner a comp and talk about nothing but WoW beta for a while, to really get into that, and I'm just super excited about all this stuff. But let's get into some esports stuff, because we were Jules and I were talking about this last week, and that was the North American qualifier in Burbank, California, and
yes.
I'm guessing that the HOTS guys watched this stuff.
I did.
Nice.
Yep, indeed.
I
So
watched it.
it's I didn't catch as much of it as I was hoping to. They were having some issues Friday and Saturday, so I didn't really have the time to sit around and wait for those games to happen. But overall, an excellent weekend. There's a lot more diversity going on in the North American teams right now. It's not the 2 titans up top that we had for a long time. Naventic, still a great team. Cloud9, still a great team. However, neither of those teams won this weekend. It was actually Gale Force Esports, which you might recognize the names, such as Michael Udall, who was on the ASU team for
Right.
Heroes of the Dorm,
Right.
along with Rafflecopter and Akaface.
Mhm.
So great weekend. Little bit of drama happening, possibly.
Uh-oh.
Some
happened?
rumors. So Cloud9 fell to Brain Power, which used to be Cognitive Gaming, two times in this tournament. And the way this worked, because there were two North American qualifiers, the winner of the first qualifier is going on to Worlds, and the winner of this qualifier was going on to Worlds. However, if the same team won, which would have been Navintic, there would have been a playoff between the two second place teams,
right?
Which would have been Cloud9 from the first one and second place from this one. So Cloud9 obviously again didn't do well this tournament because they dropped both their matches to Brain Power.
Mm-hmm.
And in the finals, we had Gale Force Esports and Navintic, and Gale Force 3-0'd Navintic.
Wow,
which
those guys
very
were
unusual.
Those guys were super strong. And Shark, you actually showed us a clip before the show,
and that was Gale Force versus Brain Power.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was the most Gale Force played this tournament like they were born to win Worlds. Like
talk about set this thing up though, because this was so cool. This was
so what there is, and I don't know how if you're going to share it in the show notes or whatever. You guys want to go and see it, or if you could even go and look it up on the Twitch site. Yeah, Jules, it was the Azmo-dunk. So first of all, during the draft, Michael Udall drafts Azmodan. And it's something they were talking about. They're like, is he going to go Azmodan? Azmodan is not – he's a good hero, but he's all late game. Do they have the confidence to take this hero into the late game, or are they just going to be blown away in the early game? And it was a really risky pick. He ended up picking him, and it worked out. Later on in the game, they were having a team fight. Both teams were separating to run away. There wasn't too much damage done. And Michael Udall on Azmodan throws one of his Azmo-dunk fireballs, I can't remember what the name of the ability is,
right,
across the map and hits Faye, who's playing Kael'thas. No, it's Kael'thas, and just blows her up completely.
Yeah,
like,
and it was seriously, he was almost in the middle lane, and he threw it to the bottom lane.
Yes. Yeah,
across the way.
I mean, almost all the way. Like it was max range what he could get this thing. But if you listen to the casters, it was Gillyweed and Jayhow, and they're sitting there and they're talking about, well, they're going to mount up and go ahead, and and all of a sudden you hear the buzzer from the Azmodan skin happen when he shoots his ball. It goes, Gilly goes, oh my God, is he gonna? And the whole thing, like everybody is screaming and yelling. It was honestly the
super
first time
cool shot
in esports that I have gotten out of my seat and started cheering.
The popcorn was spilled all over the floor. You couldn't. Yeah. That's cool.
Nuts. I can't do it justice by explaining it on a podcast. Please go and look for that clip. It was Gale Force versus Brain Power, Azmo-dunk. You might be able to find something on YouTube or something, really, and I think and we'll have something in the show notes. But yeah.
Yeah, we should. We should.
It was good.
Yep. Say, John Horseman.
Hey.
I want to talk to you about Hearthstone.
Great.
Because you do a Hearthstone podcast. You know.
I've been known to. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are we got the Spring Championship coming up for Europe, June 11th and 12th. What's going on this weekend? What's happening?
Yeah, so Hearthstone has kind of taken on a whole new type of format going into BlizzCon. In the past, it used to kind of be this giant tournament, and the top 16 go to BlizzCon, and the top 8 actually compete at BlizzCon, and it was kind of this convoluted mess. Instead, they've kind of made these seasons. So you've got the winter, spring, summer, and fall autumn seasons is the way it's going. So we've already got our winter out of the way. We're going into the spring championships for the next 3 weeks, for the next 3 regions. I believe it's Europe, then the Americas, and then Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got Europe coming up next week, and it's pretty exciting. It's going to be on June 11th and 12th. The broadcasting team and all that is really great. Blizzard has been really stellar as far as bringing some really high quality content to the Hearthstone Championships tour. And so that's been really exciting. And so we've got our top 8 players competing, and really the only, I'm not going to read off the list of names, but notably Tice, who was second place in the world last year. Crane 333 was one of the best ladder
like that
players.
name.
CRANE.
So with a C, never mind.
333, one of the best ladder players in the world.
Thank you.
And then AKA Wonder from Spain, I believe, are representing 3 of those 8 slots. And there's some other people who don't have as big as personalities or streams or whatever they're doing, if they're doing that at all. But those are the big notable ones coming up this week. So it's going to be really exciting. And honestly, it's kind of weird because of the new format. A lot of no-name players, well, not no-name, but definitely lesser-known players are able to compete and be seen on a huge stage. And Europe actually is the most represented for big names with Tice, Crane, and AKA Wonder. But like the other 2 regions and the other 2 championships are really actually a lot of not well-known players, not signed by teams, independent people. And so it's really fun to see all these players compete on a huge stage and just to see all the talent outside of just the Twitch world and the invitational. So it's really cool.
Cool. Very awesome. Who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for Crane. I'm rooting for Crane. I got to root for Crane.
You're really good.
I got to.
Because I heard his name. I'm a big Tice fan.
Okay.
Tice, I met him at BlizzCon last year. We went to the Twitch party together.
Oh, cool.
And hung out. And I don't even think he remembers any of that night because he just placed second in the world. So
Right.
I think he was, I think he was going to, but I hung out with him, and I'm just a huge fan of him and the way that he thinks about Hearthstone. And he's just had a wildly successful year. And so him and his whole team, he's on Team G2, formerly Nihilum, and they've got like my favorite roster. They're my favorite team in Hearthstone. And so I've got to give it up to Tice, especially for a player to compete at such a high level and qualify against a type of format that doesn't really favor just the big personalities and the streamers and the people with the right teams. So
right. Gotcha. And good luck to Crane. That's all I'm saying.
Crane with the C. Good luck.
With the C, with the, it sounds the same. It's we're all brothers. Come on. One more bit of esports to talk to you guys about.
God.
Sorry, I had to do it. Over the next 3 weeks, the Video Game Voters Network and One Nation of Gamers will be hosting an Overwatch competition. This is the second competition that I know of. So the first one was like after the first week. And so this one is going to help bring awareness to the challenges. So this is the quote. That professional gamers face when attempting to secure a P1 visa in the States to be able to come over and compete. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it'll be cool because it's Overwatch, and Cloud9, Team Liquid, Luminosity, Gale Force Esports, those guys and more are going to be a part of this, and I think you can sign up your own team for it too. It looks like because there's going to be qualifiers and all this other stuff. So, yep.
The next 2 weekends, I think, are all qualifiers.
Yeah.
And you've got playoffs, and you've got the grand finals.
And it's a $15,000 prize pool. So, I mean, again, Overwatch right now is at the beginning phase of all of the esports stuff. So we just can't see big prize pools quite yet, can we? We can't expect that anyway.
Not huge. They will get big. That's my wager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how big the prize pool will be. And a lot of this is I think a lot of the money going towards this, the money they're trying to rev is going to go through this well, maybe it's not money that's going to, it's awareness. Never mind, I read that incorrectly. Yeah. Just kidding. Strike from the record and slate.
Right.
So this is $15,000, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
so
still
I mean,
15
it's
grand.
the biggest Overwatch tournament that we've had to date so far.
It's the second one
that it's been out. Yeah, it's well, and so I mean, honestly, right now for the Overwatch pro scene, there's not a whole lot. You've got ONOG doing some things. We just had Agents Rising last weekend, I believe. And then you've got like the Gosu Gamer Weekly Invitational, which is like a community pool. So like pools are like $1,000 to $2,000, so not huge because they're basically all just kind of footed by the people who want to see a prize pool. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is really cool, and for a new thing, and there's no Blizzard sanctioned tournaments yet. We haven't seen any of those yet. So all $15,000 without Blizzard basically saying a thing or footing anything, sponsoring, putting their name on anything, like that's a pretty big deal. And it's a huge thing, right? Like the Overwatch subreddit overtook Hearthstone. Mm-hmm. Like the Overwatch community is huge. Right. So it's only going to get larger. Next week, we're going to talk about the next biggest Overwatch tournament. It'll probably be like 20K or 25K. So and now we'll make the same joke next week.
Right. And so actually UniEdge in chat just said that I should have a tournament for $30 to have the third largest.
There you go.
Tournament ever. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all. I will think about it. And maybe for drinking and swearing, we'll do that. And it'll be
Junkrats only.
Yeah, Junkrats only. And we'll do a tournament based on that.
The largest Junkrats only tournament.
And do all drinking and swearing, all chipmunk voiced stuff. So that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but and really quickly, I just want to add in the fact that they are doing this. What they're trying to raise awareness for it's something that's really been a problem in it's what's keeping another thing that's keeping esports kind of out of the limelight, and out of legitimacy. There were teams. What was the team that was invited that qualified for the Here's the Storm World?
It was E-Star from China.
E-Star, yeah. They couldn't get here because of visas, and so they had to. Another team came.
Well, it was a mix between two teams that came, and so obviously they didn't play well. And E-Star was ranked as like second in the world at the time. So the fact that one of the best teams in the world can't make it to the World Championships,
they're the ones. Yeah, they knocked out
MVP Black.
MVP Black. Thank you. But yeah, it's something that's it's a little silly. So hopefully everybody pays attention to this. And I think there's some petitions and stuff going on. There's going to be they're going to be talking about going to sign petitions. They've already sent a petition to whitehouse.gov to allow esports to it's one of those. I mean, I understand. I don't want to get into a whole political debate about immigration or anything like that. However, other sports, when we have international events in our country, visas go out. So this is something that we should recognize as an international event, be able to apply for that and get the same treatment.
Right. Well, and the biggest problem about it is that they can't keep up. The government can't keep up with what is going on in esports because there are so many games. I think. That's definitely part of the problem, and they classify games differently and all this kind of stuff. And I remember hearing about the first visa given as an athlete to a video gamer, and I was like, what? And now I'm like, well, why don't you? Come on, let's get this thing done. They just want to come over and compete, and that's all. I mean, do they have an itinerary where it says they're going to compete somewhere?
It's way more complicated.
Let them in.
Yeah,
it's more complicated than we can, I'm sure it's more than just issuing a piece of paper. Right. However, putting the infrastructure in place to where it can be something that can be applied for by Blizzard or by whoever's hosting the event, having some sort of organization around that. Right. So it's not a convoluted mess like it is now.
Sure. All right, fellas, that does it for esports. And so check it out. I mean, we've got Hearthstone and Overwatch going on this weekend. We've got the movie, and we've got tons of stuff going on this weekend. So enjoy, everybody. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have an amazing time. I'm going to be at
all the Blizzard you want.
Yeah.
All the Blizzard you can handle.
That sounds like an Avengers tagline. Something like that. I don't know. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're just gonna get out.
Let's get out.
Oh, not that one. I want this one.
You need to take 3 on this too?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Hey, by the way, big shout out to Rectified for getting Mythic Gorfing on Saturday. Big stuff.
Where's the sounder?
I missed that sounder.
Let me see if I can
please.
find it. In the meantime, how can people find you guys? What are you guys up to this week? Gizmo, what are you up to this week?
Well, you can find me tomorrow night. We will be doing Lords of the Storm, recap on this weekend and all the excellent things coming to Heroes in the next few weeks. You can also find me on Twitter at Gizmozord.
Cool. Oh, here it is right here. Rectify. There we go. That's the one.
You guys need to watch the video.
We do that one more time.
Sure. Rectified. That's the one. All right. All right. Hey, Shark, how can people find you? What are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter at Sharku_CTR, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sharku_CTR. Next few weeks, I will be taking a hiatus as I am starting rehearsals for my summer gig, so I will be away from the interwebs and experiencing real life, shooting real weapons with fake bullets. So we'll be having lots of fun.
All right. And John, how can people find you, and what are you up to?
Same old thing. So the Payload, we record Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/BlizzPro.
Okay.
And Well Met is same place, twitch.tv/BlizzPro, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. I do know that Crab people asked who our favorite to win the Hearthstone EU Spring Championship was,
Crane.
and he said Tice.
Yeah.
And I would say Tice is absolutely my favorite too, with, I hate to say it now because Pat's made such a deal about it,
Yeah.
Crane as well.
Crane.
So those are my two favorites. But yeah, you can find me twitch.tv/kicktripod, twitter.com/everything kicktripod.
Awesome. And you can find myself at Pat Crane on Twitter and Zug on Twitch. And I'm not doing anything this weekend. I'm just going to have fun with friends over at the Minnesota Meetup. And I will let you in on the action as we record a podcast on Saturday night after all the festivities and everything like that. It should be a lot of fun. Make sure that you join in on the conversation with us anytime. You can always email convertraid@gmail.com. Leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. Or you can follow us on Twitter at convertraid. So there. You can also join the Bazooba Guabo Nation by heading over to convertraid.com, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, and more over at convertraid.com. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, all the stuff around the internet. So there. Convert to Raid Presents is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time, everybody. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.